Right, a very good morning to you once again. The bonus point win against Samoa put South Africa at the top of Pool B, reigniting the nation's hopes of a third Webb Ellis Trophy. Former Springbok coach Peter de Villiers joins us now from our Cape Town studio for an in-depth look into the pretty impressive comeback by Hanneke Meyer and company. Thank you so much for joining us in Cape Town. Our Boks returned to winning ways, but how satisfied with their performance as a whole?
Good morning. Yeah, to me it was a real quality competitive greatness amongst the players. I really felt very good yesterday. It was so professionally done, and that is the way that we expect that the Springboks, our South African rugby team, should play. And yeah, well done to them.
All right, now the team endured their worst week after the shock result to Japan. No surprises there. But I mean, these kind of results shouldn't really happen, but sport spits out shock results all the time. How do you actually prevent it from happening?
You know, if you look at how they became complacent, I didn't think they were on the edge. They were really prepared, but they weren't ready for this tournament. The greatness of a team sport is that you have to enhance each other's greatness in themselves. And that is what happened yesterday. Peter de Villiers, he's a world beater. He actually made the biggest difference in whatever the team needed. And yeah, well done to Hanneke for bringing him back. He is actually one of the guys that the people said he's a bit old, but he is still the best scrum half in world rugby.
Yeah, no, well, I completely agree with you. Now, I know you also had quite a lot to say about the team being old in general. I mean, the oldies, if you will, actually had stellar games yesterday.
Well, I didn't have a lot to say about the team that's old in general. I had a lot to say about the composition and guys who were injured and not fit and never had the chance to play in Currie Cup so they can prove their fitness. If they went to play Currie Cup and the guys around them were secure that they would be fit when they played, we would never have that kind of people didn't trust the team. But what happened yesterday is exactly what the team needed, you know. We criticize the team because we are passionate about the game. We're passionate about Springbok rugby. We want our country to do good. And when we are substandard, I think we're not the only people who criticize. Everybody criticizes, but we lose faith and we lose heart. And that should never be, not in the economic situation that the country are. We rely on rugby to keep the country's morale high.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. All right, well, now you've mentioned Peter de Villiers, and I completely agree with you. For me, he was the man of the match yesterday. Handré Pollard was, in fact, awarded the man of the match award. Do you think he is the starting Bok fly half?
Well, if you have a guy if you have a team like yesterday, anybody can start there. Handré Pollard were bailed out a lot by the fullback. He actually played from fly-half a lot of times. Peter de Villiers protected him so much. He kicked the ball when he had to. His decision-making were brilliant. And then he put all those big runners into spaces, and that allowed them to be on the front foot. And Handré Pollard, when he's on the front foot, Handré is one of those devastating players, you know. And the decision-making were actually spot on when it came from source. What we also did right yesterday is we did actually defend brilliantly at source. We never gave them any line-out ball or clean ball to play off. And then at scrum time, we had them on the back foot so that we can put pressure on them. That was a brilliant performance. If you look at how we came off the line, not to allow them space to put us under pressure, we actually dictated the game with ball and without ball in hand. And that's exactly what Springbok rugby is about. Yeah, I'm over the moon if guys play the way they played yesterday.
Yeah, completely. All right. Well, now this is a tough one because our skipper. Now, this conversation might be null and void because we're still waiting on those results of his X-rays. He might actually be out of the World Cup. But if he isn't, and if he is clear to play, do you drop Jean de Villiers? I mean, Damien de Allende was a standout player yesterday, and I mean, partnering him with Jesse Creel, that looks to be the way forward. But do you drop your leader?
Well, if they played like yesterday, the one spot doesn't make a big difference, you know. The rest of the combinations should just be right. I think the improvement that we can make must be at loose forward, where we can just add another speedster to the game. Otherwise, I'm very happy with the guys that were on the field, and especially with the guys who came on to replace them. We never had replacements yesterday. We had guys who came and took their game to the next level, you know. They call them impact players that really made an impact on that game. I think the debate around Johan de Villiers is been drawn out now too long. Johan de Villiers is there as a captain. He's there as the leader of our nation. If he leads our nation the way the nation were led yesterday, I don't have a problem with him there. And then if Jesse Kriel comes off the bench and he takes it to the next level, I think everybody who play against us, they are in trouble.
All right, that sounds reasonable. All right, now looking at our loosies, I mean, Skulk also, great game yesterday, much improved from the week before. But are we still missing Willem Alberts?
Well, Skulk was outstanding. I think Skulk handled the ball in one move. He handled the ball 3 times, but every time when he handled the ball, he made it so available for them that they were on the front foot, and he put players into space. Now, Skulk was outstanding. If you look at what he gave us the week before and yesterday, it's day and night. Willem Alberts will add that little spice that we really need. And I would bring him off the bench if I have to play him. But we need speed, a real speed at the beginning of the game, just to shut the outside backs a bit down whenever they want to step our backs. Otherwise, I don't have a problem really. I think the combination of the team looks to me as if we can go forward with that. 1 or 2 changes as we go from game to game, horses for courses. That will be on the cards, but we have a base to work from now, and that makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah, you're sounding very confident, which is awesome to hear. I'm glad. It's a vast improvement from last week for you and for the Springboks, of course. Is there anything in your mind, though, that does still need tweaking and improvement moving forward?
Well, the one thing that I prophesy it all the times, and I will stand up for that. When you go to a tournament like the World Cup, you need to take 31 people to go as one. And a performance like yesterday is the only thing that can cement that team spirit, you know. You don't build a team spirit by going on team building exercises and all those kind of things. You only build team spirit in rugby and in sport when you win. And if you win convincingly like we did yesterday, I'm telling you now, whenever we had the ball in our hand, we caused problems for them because we were attacking the ball, we were attacking space. And then Damian de Linde, he made a big difference in the kind of rugby that we need to play. And what is heartwarming for me is that South Africa went back to what they know best, and that is direct rugby, but putting pace on the ball.
All right, we're going to be talking to you in a week's time again. Do you think you're going to be feeling this pleased after the Scotland game?
Yeah, I think if we turn up again, if we go out there and we believe that we can rule the world through rugby, nobody can stop us. It's all about that self-belief, and it's coming back to the team. You could see the way they played. You could see how the players got off the bench. They wanted to be there. They wanted to make a difference. And if that happened, nobody can live with us. Now I think we're going to be very confident next week too.
Okay, well, Peter de Villiers, I think we have covered just about all the bases, and I'm glad to hear you sounding optimistic and positive again. Whether this is the beginning of us going on and winning the World Cup for the 3rd time, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I suppose let's take it one step at a time and see how we do against Scotland next week. Thank you so much for joining us. That was former Springbok coach Peter de Villiers. Thank you very much for your insights, as always.